Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Friday, January 24th. And if we look at the US indices, they are in the red currently, only slightly down zero point 0.1 and 0.25%. So it's highly likely that they could come back. But if we take a look at what's going on in the news and what the narrative is, it's really a mismatch of things. There really isn't a lot of substance being talked about right now. And so I think that's probably why we're seeing the wavering for the most part. If we take a look at the Yahoo Finance app, you'll notice that crude is up, but it's still below $75 a barrel for crude futures. So that's a bit of a concern. These are March 25th futures down at 74.93. This is something that if we look back even 5 days, we were up in the 78, 80 range, certainly up into the 80s by mid-month of January. And it's come down significantly. And yet oil prices for US oil distribution companies or production companies have really kind of remained elevated, which is also a little bewildering in that I would have thought those would have come down with crude. But maybe there is some logic to that I just haven't figured out at this point. You can see the VIX is down. It's at 15, but it was in the 14s yesterday, so it's up a little from yesterday. If we scroll down through our list, health and retail being at the top, we've got Costco off a couple bucks yesterday, off another couple this morning heading into the session. Lulu had a good day, up $5 yesterday. It's off 60 cents. Dollar General's been getting beat up this year, but it is down 23 cents today. Walmart off a little, but up a little yesterday. It was down for most of the day and then spiked at the end. I still like ATD. Alimentation Couche-Tard out of Canada. I think that's a good long-term play. You're not going to make a lot in a day, but if you're looking for retail for the longer term, I think that's an interesting one. I think there may be some hope for Home Depot this year, but I'm waiting for it to pull back a little bit, maybe into the 390s or low 400s before I pick some of that up. And then we have got the healthcare companies, an okay day yesterday for the most part, and then off in the red as we start the day today. JB Hunt, I think JB Hunt, I recorded a short on this yesterday, and I think it hit a bottom at this point after its bad earnings last week. And I think it's going to pop back a little bit. It's been moving between 69 and 75. So I think that's its new temporary range. So I bought in yesterday in the set 170.20. It fell back into the 169s, but now it looks like it could make it up into the 171s this morning. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. Oil has done pretty much very well actually yesterday for the most part. Valero was up almost over $5.50. Most of them a bit of a mixed bag, but most in the red, some in the green, but only slightly here as crude has increased. And then we get down into tech. And so aftermarket, Texas Instruments released earnings and the earnings beat, but their forecast in year over year growth just wasn't that great. And so they were off significantly. They were fluctuating up and down after in the post market prior to earnings release around 4:15. And then once they were released and people were able to read into them, that stock dropped. So it'll open in the low 190s. I think it has the potential to go into the 180s. I would stay away from Texas Instruments for the next couple of days until, like JB Hunt, it finds a bottom. But then long term for the year, I think there is some potential with Texas Instruments, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Um, Applied Materials has been just on a rampage for the last month or so, and it was down yesterday, one of the first times it was down in a while. Nvidia up, but only slightly, and only at the last seconds of the trading hour or trading day yesterday. Down today, off a buck 30. Sorry, that's NVDL, but NVIDIA would be down as well. You've got Micron was off yesterday based on some based on a story from a South Korean company. I believe it's Hynix SK or SK Hynix, who is in a similar industry making memory and chips. And they reported sluggish demand and increasing inventory. So that took a toll on others in the space, Micron being one of those. CrowdStrike was off, but is back up today by the looks of it. Big movers here. One big mover yesterday was Netflix. So Netflix had some great earnings this week and popped, like skyrocketed, and then came down from that. The same day, so it went up 120. Then I think it closed up around 80 to 90, and then it just increased again, 30, almost $31 yesterday. Meta has been on a bit of a tear, so up at looking like it's going to open around 641. So that was a stock we were recommending you get into prior to or earlier in January when it was 590. Tesla is reporting next week. One of the companies reporting next week. I think Tesla's results aren't going to be what the market is expecting. There's a lot of built up inventory right now sitting on lots that Tesla is looking for customers to take delivery of, or looking for them to purchase. They just increased prices in Canada, which is a small, pretty much insignificant market probably for them. But in the US, I think they're starting to struggle. And I think they're going to get hit. And I think it's going to pull the Tesla stock down. I think we're going to see that stock drop into the 380s, maybe even 360s at some point in the next couple of months, based on the sluggish growth that is anticipated, unless we start hearing about robotaxi and some approvals out of the administration, but we're not there yet. If we look at Google, Google had a okay day to begin with yesterday. Then it fell off for some reason midday, and then it climbed back. Up right now on the pre-market, up a dollar, and probably going to find a sweet spot around that 200, 202 range until earnings in the next couple of weeks. And then Twilio released good earnings yesterday, and they were up significantly, 21 bucks, almost 21% there in that climb. So that was an interesting one. We've got SoFi reporting on Monday, and they are just having a great year. If we look at 2024, but also into 2025, this has been a three-time growth stock. So this was a $6 stock at one point, mid-year really too. So not even a full year did it take to triple. And we'll have earnings from them Monday morning, pre-market. So interesting start to the week there. The rest of these are pretty much in the red right now. They've had a great run after earnings, and they're just seeing a bit of pullback in the morning session in the pre-market. So that's where we are. Good luck with your trades. And if you're liking these videos,